Hi and welcome back, strangers. This is the second part of only two-part series from sketch to finish. As you may know, I did this kind of little challenge, at least a challenge for me personally, when I tried to actually paint from my sketch, which I did in the previous video. I sketched some more types of fishes, but I really like these two goldfishes, yeah. So I challenged myself and I wanted to paint them on actual canvas, hard canvas. I'm painting on a wood. And in the previous video I did this kind of background which is more abstract, and now we will finally bring these two to life. So first of all, I'm starting with only like color blocking. This is only for me to get a feeling of how the paint react, how it actually looks when it's painted, because as you may see, until now it was just two white big blobs staring at me, which can be kind of scary. But when you start, you just have to start. When you start, it seems more doable. So this is why I chose this kind of bright orange. It's really happy colors, so I was a bit less scared. And first of all, I did only a couple of light washes. Then I started to bring more tones and more opaque paints. You just need to get a sense of light and shadows, which is kind of hard for me personally, so I try to work on myself more. Everything is kind of a challenge, as I mentioned, because I don't usually use acrylic paints. I have these paints since I think Christmas. I even might have some footage of me unboxing them. These kind of paints are really nice and opaque, as you may see. I didn't have a problem mixing them up, but I haven't used them. I feel very comfortable with only watercolors. Because you can just like put many washes down as you want, and I don't know, it feels kind of less scary. But still, I wanted to challenge myself. So after putting down the first layers, you need to leave this painting to dry a bit, because you can't paint wet on wet, not with these colors. So you can kind of help it, you can let it be. As you can see, I tried many techniques. It depends on you, which do you prefer, but maybe it would be better to just leave it as it is. So yes. Now we will continue with more actual washes with the paint. As I mentioned, the acrylic paints are not my first choice. I only use them on actually bigger canvases, from linen I think, and I did more abstract pieces with them. As you may see, the background is also pretty abstract. I will go back into it later in the video. You will see how I kind of changed it up a little bit. But yes, I feel comfortable with abstract painting. But now I want to also focus on something non-abstract. So yeah, I think kind of like animals could be a good start for me, because I think they are very cute. I think I gave these two little goldfishes some character, which you will see in the end. To finish up this first couple of layers, I have a close-up where you can see how patchy the work is, but I promise you it will get better. I'm now continuing with putting down more red to get a sense of depth into the painting, and it's better for me personally for the orientation. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys, just keep it up and trust the process. You can see how slowly you can more recognize the features of the fish, at least in the front. We can see the eye, the back, the fins. It's starting to look a little bit better, so just wait. here you may see how, especially thanks to the red color, a beautiful structure emerged, and I personally prefer these kind of more patchy paintings. I will definitely work on it more, but still it gives me more impressionistic vibe. So yeah, I will now come back to it with even more warm orange tones. With these little highlights, I'm again establishing where the light is, on the eyes, on the mouth, and it's a little bit easier to then add more paint and focus on the shape and how the light actually should reflect. I'm honestly not sure if I'm doing this correctly, but it's more of a feeling for me. But it gives a little 3D shape and it helps to define the shapes of the fishes. After letting the piece dry a bit again, I will show you this technique called dry brushing and this beautiful texture you can get by it, as you may see right here. First you need a brush that you don't really like, and then violently smash it against a hard surface. More times the better. So just trust me. Thanks to this, the bristles and the little hairs will get spread apart uniquely, and then you will get a nice structure which is good for the, as I will use it for highlights, for example, and other stuff. I think that the destroying of the art supplies and brushes could be kind of controversial. As I just showed you, it is a great way to get a unique type of brush, but also I know that supplies are usually very expensive, so your first thought wouldn't be to destroy them, especially not purposefully. But again, you have to remember these are just tools that have to accommodate you and your needs. After adding the highlights, I will let the fishes dry and in the meantime focus more on the background. First of all, when I painted the orange over the blue, if you know a bit about color theory, you know that I got this kind of yellowish or greenish color, which I don't really like, so that's why I'm again color blocking around the fishes to give them more shape and to make them more pop from the background. Previously I also added salt, so it will soak up the puddles of water and create the structure. So now it's time to remove it. As you may see, I'm kind of struggling because it's really dry in there and it was really hard to get it off. But still, thanks to the salt, you get this beautiful, really nice structure and texture of these kind of paths with the water. Well, even though it's very nice, I wasn't that happy about it because it felt kind of flat, so that's why I did multiple washes of darker blue all over the blue background, and then I also added more blue in the corners, which is not that visible now, but you will see it in the final piece. Again, the end of the day caught up with me, so I had to move inside, but that also means these beautiful underlays for you. I just don't want to have acrylic paint on my table, so yes, that's what we have. Now I started to work on the lines in the piece. Yes, I think this is kind of cheating, I know, but it helped me to put more details in it, and I didn't want to use brush because I think there are much easier ways to do it. I tried Posca and then just some basic, I don't know, red liner, but then a gel pen won. So thanks to the gel pen I did many little details, and I will leave you to it. You can see what I'm doing. Now we are coming to the end, and for the final highlights I chose this itty bitty tiny brush and again acrylic paint. I decided to put more highlights in the eyes or just in the parts where I found it suiting. Highlights are very important things. I think it brings the piece to life, and again it gives it a nice shape, and at least it seems more 3D to my eye, I would say. I know that sometimes less is more, and it applies to almost everything in life, definitely to painting. I know that maybe in this piece I could have done more layers to give it more depth, maybe add more details, I'm not sure. Definitely the fins are a bit problem. I know that the tail of the fish on the left is not ideal, how it goes behind the fin, but these are things that I know are not perfect and I want to improve in the future. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I will leave you to the final reveal of the piece, and please give like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed it with me. So see you next time and goodbye.